In today's news, BVI Health Services warns against rising COVID-19 cases, urges vigilance. VI secures support for 13 Caribbean territories at UN SIDS meeting. Words of wisdom from cousin Save JR's life, from troublemaker to Des Moines mentor. Pirates and Synergy eyeing consecutive clean sweeps in softball championships. We have the details of this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, you enjoy the rest of it then. Next customer line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, son.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. What on there? You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man to take care of me.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of 284 News. It is Friday, September 1st, 2023. I'm Ron Grant, bringing you the very latest out of Tortola in the Virgin Islands. A happy Friday is wished to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for joining us, and most importantly, thank you for sticking it out with us for this entire week. Beginning our newscast, the British Virgin Islands has secured support for some 13 British, Dutch, French, and United States territories in the Caribbean at the United Nations Caribbean Small Island Developing States Regional Preparatory Meeting in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The regional preparatory brought together SIDS in the Caribbean, including the associate member countries of the Economic Commission of Latin America and the Caribbean, to agree, prioritize, and identify needed international support to be included in the next SIDS International Framework for Sustainable Development that will be agreed at the UN 4th International Conference on Small Island Developing States in Antigua and Barbuda in 2024. Now, in his intervention to participants, BVI Representative Mr. Benito Wheatley shared the following.
I'm attending this meeting in the BVI's capacity as an associate member country of ECLAC. The proper acronym is AMC. Our participation is as part of the established UN protocol for meetings of this type. For the purpose of this forum, we are SIDS, but have a different political status. In recognition of the impact of COVID-19 on the AMCs, also the AMC's challenges in implementing the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, and the AMC's needs in responding to the negative impacts of climate change, ECLAC organized a high-level meeting of the political leaders of the AMCs in 2021 to discuss these issues. The meeting highlighted that, generally speaking, the AMCs face the same challenges as other SIDS. For some AMCs that are middle or high income, like the BVI, we do not qualify for official development assistance or concessional financing under the existing international rules. This is despite our financial constraints as small economies that have few other options for financial support. You will recall that after the BVI sustained damage worth $2.3 billion from Hurricanes Irma and Maria, we only qualified for loans on our own credit from the Caribbean Development Bank in the amount of $110 million. The government received no direct grants toward its budget for operations or reconstruction. This is the reason why, 5 years on, we are still rebuilding. The BVI and some AMCs also do not qualify for climate financing under the established international mechanisms, despite having the same climate vulnerability as other islands in the Caribbean, and also the need to transition to renewable energy. The resources available to some of the AMCs for climate response are very scarce unless we turn to borrowing, as I mentioned. There is also the issue of small government administration and limited capacity. AMCs are in need of capacity building and technology transfer to overcome this problem. Most AMCs also face the challenge of sargassum seaweed that is affecting their tourism sectors.
Mr. Wheatley also successfully introduced a clause on the associate member countries for inclusion in the outcome document that was adopted by all participants according to the outcome document.
The main point here is that the ICLAC high-level meeting of AMCs indicated that there are real gaps in support to the AMCs for sustainable development and climate change, which need to be filled if the AMCs are going to achieve the sustainable development goals. Partnerships are desperately needed to fill these gaps. This was captured in the outcome document of the fourth forum of the countries of Latin America and the Caribbean on sustainable development. Importantly, in the BVI's case, the UN system has been a great partner in terms of providing technical assistance in key areas with the limited resources that they can apply to us. In June, the BVI government and UN system held a Sustainable Development Forum on Tortola, where 10 UN agencies and the government administration discussed additional areas of UN technical assistance to support the implementation of the BVI's National Sustainable Development Plan and our Blue Economy Roadmap. We also began a dialogue on innovative financing in an effort to mobilize resources for sustainable development and to build climate resilience. And we will also be exploring the possibilities for trilateral cooperation with third parties. Thank you, Didier, to you and your team for traveling to the BVI to meet with us to discuss these critical issues. Mr. Chair, it is important to note here that the BVI does not receive any financial assistance from the UK. We have not received any external funds for our operational budget since 1978. So we have to find the additional resources needed to achieve the things we want to do. In addition to development cooperation with the UN, we are working closely with CARICOM and OECS, and also believe that greater South-South cooperation between SIDS and other partners can also yield good results.
Commenting on the solidarity and support expressed for the associate member countries, Mr. Wheatley had this to say.
What we are seeking at this meeting is support for AMCs to qualify for some form of international support for SIDS where it is possible in order to provide us with some form of assistance in trying to implement the 2030 agenda and building greater climate resilience. We want to participate in the partnerships that will be offered to SIDS. We do not want to be excluded. The mantra expressed several times in this meeting is leave no one behind. We ask that you not leave the AMCs behind. I have reviewed last night's version of the outcome document and would like to propose to the chair of the drafting committee a few lines of text for inclusion on the AMCs later today.
The associate member countries of ELAC include Anguilla, Aruba, Bermuda, British Virgin Islands, Cayman Islands, Curacao, Guadeloupe, Martinique, Montserrat, Puerto Rico, St. Martin, Turks and Caicos Islands, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The UN Caribbean SIDS preparatory meeting took place from the 8th to the 10th of August 2023 and was attended by representatives of the Caribbean governments, UN agencies, regional organizations, and civil society organizations. UN Under-Secretary General for Economic and Social Affairs, Mr. Lee Jawan, who serves as the Secretary General for the 4th International Conference on SIDS, was also present. Something you would expect a government to implement in 4 to 10 years. Permanent Secretary for the Office of the Deputy Governor, Mrs. Charlene Dabrio-Letson, made this remark while speaking about the COI reforms in the latest episode of the Government Business at its Best Table Talk, with focused on the topic of greater transparency. She was at the time discussing the timeline in which the public service has had to act to achieve the action items outlined in the framework for implementation of the recommendations of the Commission of Inquiry report, as well as other reforms. She said that the public service has had to act quickly and effectively to meet these guidelines. She added that some of the timelines in the original framework were unrealistic, but there was some relief following negotiations with the UK that allowed some adjustments. She also noted that some of the significant initiatives outlined in the framework were already underway prior to the release of the COI report.
Now, when you read a report like the COI and then you look at the framework, that work is something that you would expect a government to implement in 5-10 years. What you also have to understand is that a lot of the work that you see defined in the COI framework were things that had already begun. So we had the Public Service Transformation Program, as many would be aware. That program actually started prior to the impact of Irma, and then we escalated it further following Irma. And then recently you had the National Sustainable Development Plan, you had many different financial frameworks that were being developed to support a lot of the concerns that you saw documented in the COI framework. We obviously had to aggressively move these things forward because the government, through the Premier and others, made a commitment to the UK to move these activities forward within a very specific time frame. So for the last, couple years, we've been eating, breathing, sleeping COI. Everything is COI.
She also emphasized that the public service has been balancing its regular duties with the implementation of the reforms. She said at this time, the implementation is advancing to a point where the public and the UK want to see the fruit of this labor in the territory's modern governance approach.
What we want the public to understand is that COI is only a very small portion of the work that we do at the ministry level and at the governor's group level. And we have to now take into consideration that there were some specific timelines that said we need to do some specific things. Once those things were completed, then what happens next? The public wants to see progress. They want to see how those things are integrated into bigger plans. They want to see continuity of those activities to the point where we can say that the BVI is a model for good governance. That's what we want to achieve.
Dabrio Letson reported that at this time, the Office of the Deputy Governor has made significant progress on the 16 recommendations for which it is responsible. She said that work has begun on all of the recommendations and some of the items are in the advanced stages of completion.
We've made a wonderful success in achieving majority of the 16. All of them have been touched, and some of them are well advanced. And you would have heard things like the Jury Act and the adjustments to the Audit Act. There's been a lot of work that has been done by the Deputy Governor's Office and other ministries to really move these activities along.
Now, viewers, during this program, Permanent Secretary in the Premier's Office, Carolyn Stout-Igwe, also gave a brief update on the overall status of the implementations of all of the recommendations.
Work on 50 of the 50 recommendations has begun. At the end of July 2023, 24 of the recommendations have been completed and 26 recommendations are in progress. Also important to note is that the 50 framework recommendations are split into 131 actions, and of these actions, 77 or 59% are completed.
Stout-Igwe thanked all public officers for their dedication and hard work in advancing these reforms and urged them to continue to uphold the standards of professionalism and ethics. She also encouraged members of the public to stay informed and involved in these processes, as they are vital for ensuring good governance and development in the Virgin Islands. The British Virgin Islands Health Services Authority has noted a recent increase in the number of persons testing positive for COVID-19 at the Dr. D. Orlando Smith Hospital. The organization believes that this increase in positive cases serves as a reminder that the COVID-19 virus persists. Of course, ongoing caution and proactive measures are encouraged to ensure health and safety. At the Omicron variant and other strains of the virus continue to circulate, the BVI Health Services urges persons to remain vigilant and prioritize the health and well-being of both themselves and others. It is important, they say, that individuals follow recommended guidelines to reduce the risk of infection and subsequent transmission. Some of these guidelines include maintaining proper hand hygiene, wearing masks indoors and in crowded places. In addition to that, this step helps to protect both individuals and the wider community. Practicing, of course, physical distancing and maintain a safe distance of 3 to 6 feet, monitoring symptoms, of course, staying within the COVID-19 symptoms such as fever, cough, shortness of breath, headaches, dizziness, and others, following official health guidelines. Keep up to date with the latest health advisories from reputable sources such as BVI Health Services Authority. The agency says, and I quote, "The BVI Health Services Authority continues to monitor persons presenting with the virus and remains alert to protect the health and safety of the people of the Virgin Islands. Effective control of COVID-19 requires a collective effort," they say, and the authority appreciates the cooperation and support of every resident and visitor. Acting Chief Executive Officer Dr. June Samuel expressed the BVI Health Services Authority's ongoing commitment to protecting the community. She stated, and I quote, "We must remain steadfast in our commitment to battling this virus and safeguarding the well-being of our residents by adhering to recommended safety measures and staying informed as it relates to the COVID-19 virus. We have already proven that we can overcome such challenges when we all work together." In line with this new development, the Infection Prevention and Control Manager at the BVI Health Services Authority, Ms. Rosa Rivera Seaman, informed the public that the increase in cases, the wearing of masks, because of the increase of cases, the wearing of masks on a hospital unit is mandatory when visiting loved ones. She explained that this requirement helps to protect our patients, families, and healthcare workers. Viewers, up next, we have much more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
When you're in need of air conditioning, installation, repairs, or replacement services, Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration has the professional technicians, equipment, parts, and ACs to get the job done right. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration carries top brands like Daikin, Aircon, Mitsubishi, and more. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Located in Fish Bay. Telephone 340-4114 or 343-9511. Markinson Air Conditioning and Refrigeration, providing exceptional services to the British Virgin Islands since 2015.
Rashford made it. Manchester United have come from behind to lead.
At home or on the go, watch CCT Live. Download our app and carry your favorite TV shows, news, or live sports anywhere you go. Visit cctbvi.com/live, select your package, and tune in.
Looks like Johnny's ex-girlfriend finally found my car.
You've got CG. You're fine. I'll never forget the year those monkeys stole my car. They drove it over a cliff, burned the seats, and carved the words pineapple banana smoothie into all the doors. And that was after they used it for the bank heist. I don't blame them. It's their favorite smoothie, and I refuse to share the recipe.
No deductible for theft, malicious damage, and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back, everyone, and thank you so much for sticking with us. Kyron McMaster continued to display his excellence in form on Thursday, handing the world #1 ranked Karsten Wahlholm an upset to win the Zurich Diamond League. Running out of lane 6, McMaster, who is ranked 3rd in the men's 400-meter hurdles, stormed to victory, edging Wahlholm at the first finish line in photo to win at 47.27 seconds. His impressive time bettered Wahlholm's 47.30 seconds, stunning the Norwegian, who came into the race as the clear favorite after winning the recently concluded World Athletics Champions. Now the world #2 ranked Alison dos Santos of Brazil placed 3rd, clocking 47.62 seconds.
Wahlholm, second to top there out in lane 7, always attacks very aggressively through the first 150. never really lets up, actually, although inside him, Kyron McMaster, wow. The man for the British Virgin Islands has had the audacity to move up onto the shoulder of Varholm, who will be strong over the second half, he always is, but this is unfamiliar territory, perhaps, for the Norwegian. In the white there, bottom of picture, McMaster right up alongside him and ahead of him, in fact, at the moment. Dos Santos going well inside them in 5-2. But Varholm surely can be stronger down the home straight, or can he? But Master is committed down the first 300 metres, but now down the home straight, it is down to the running off the final barrier. Varholm unbeaten this year in major finals, but he's beaten here tonight in Zurich. Well, I think post-party fatigue.
Halstead Jr. Cheverton has attributed his lifestyle change to his cousin Samuel France, who he said kept it real with him approximately a decade ago after seeing the trajectory his life was taking. At the time of the exchange between the two cousins, Cheverton was widely known for his basketball talent, representing the national team on numerous occasions, and for being a hothead or troublemaker. It was during a one-on-one basketball game between the cousins that led to France enlightening Cheverton on how his actions negatively impacted the family and the reputational damage he was causing. Cheverton said it was at that very moment that he knew he had to make serious adjustments to his approach to life.
The turning point was my cousin was just there standing up, but Samuel France, I don't know if you know him. He worked at electricity. He was the turning point. He was the turning point right there. About 10 years ago, in the backyard of our house, we got a basketball court. And every day we would go back there and play one-on-one, me and Samuel France. Everyone called him Big Saf. And whenever we play one-on-one, we like enemies, not family. So the game got competitive one day, and he started telling me how I let a family down because of my attitude, because I was in position to make it somewhere, and I didn't because of my attitude.
JR, as he is affectionately known, said the advice from France inspired him to take the then teenage Demoy Hodge under his wing as a means to reverse the reputation he had created by doing something positive for a change. He said the words of wisdom saved his life.
And he told me I let the family down, and basically told me I was like bad for the family. And that stuck with me. And that's another reason why I took Demoy. I said I'm gonna do a 360 and I'm gonna make the family proud of me. Right? And
so he kept it real with you, basically?
Yeah, he kept it real with me. Okay. And that's go back to my attitude, being hothead, you know, being rude. So that was the turning point, I'm not gonna lie to you. And I talked to him about this story about 2 weeks ago.
And would you say that actually saved your life as well too?
That saved my life. That saved my life. Yeah.
And also advised residents who possess the same mentality that he once did to change that behavior today. He said such a lifestyle will only lead people down a treacherous road.
It's not gonna take you nowhere in life. Like, I heard that when I was growing up, but I used to go in one ear and come out the next. So I could imagine me saying this to a younger, they're gonna look at me like, you know what I'm saying? But it really don't take you nowhere. You gotta be a good person, a good human being. You have to have the right attitude, character, presence to even make it. Demoy is a prime example. Demoy did not make it because of his shooting. He had all the tangible, the good person, human being, attitude. So having a good attitude will take you into rooms that you will never dream about.
Viewers, up next, we have more on the local scene. We'll be right back after a quick commercial break.
At VI Motors, we've got it. All your vehicles, we've got it. All your auto parts, we've got it. Everything you need, we've got it. We've got oil, it's stock. We've got batteries, it's stock. We've got tires, it's stock. Even brakes, yes sir. Yes! VI Motors, pioneering the automotive industry in the Virgin Islands since 1966 with leading brands like Toyota, Chevy, and Honda. We even do custom orders. We have all the top brands in automotive parts as well, so you know you're getting quality. Come visit us at Duff's Bottom, Tortola. Go to our website at VIMotors.com or just call us at 494-2496. Remember, VI Motors, we've got it. All your vehicles, we've got it. All your auto parts, we've got it. Everything you need, we've got it. We've got it.
That's out.
That's 6.
That's out.
With great service and fast claims response, we're like a home match that isn't played at your actual home. CG Insurance. Good like that.
My turn. Oh, come on, guys.
Looks like Johnny's ex-girlfriend finally found my car.
You've got CG. You're fine. I'll never forget the year those monkeys stole my car. They drove it over a cliff, burned the seats, and carved the words pineapple banana smoothie into all the doors. And that was after they used it for the bank heist. I don't blame them. It's their favorite smoothie, and I refuse to share the recipe.
No deductible for theft, malicious damage, and more. CG Insurance. Good like that.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you so much for sticking with us. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force have confirmed that more than 800 kilograms of cocaine was seized during the recent drug bust operation on the sister island of Anegada, Virgin Islands. In addition to the drugs, police in a media release on Friday said they also seized an aircraft which reportedly transported the drugs to the island. The Royal Virgin Islands Police Force also revealed that they executed search warrants on several properties in Anegada, adding that several persons of interest were arrested, interviewed, and later released. Acting Commissioner of Police St. Clair Omri commented that all officers involved in the seizures and thanked all residents who either assisted and are presently assisting in the operation. He said, and I quote, As this is an ongoing and sensitive investigation, no further information can be disclosed at this time. He continued, persons with any pertinent information into the incident can contact the Royal Virgin Islands Police Force Intelligence Unit at 368-9339. All information is said to be held in the strictest of confidence. The Pirates and Synergy are on the verge of delivering clean sweeps to Power Outage and Sparks, respectively, in the 2023 Virgin Islands Softball Baseball Association National Fast Pitch Softball League. Playing in the best-of-5 series at the E. Wallenbruley Ballpark last weekend, both teams handed their opponents consecutive losses to lead their respective series 2-0. Now in the men's division, Pirates dominated the first game of the series against Power Outage, defeating them 13-3 via mercy rule in the 4th inning. Game 2 saw Power Outage bouncing back in the early stages and enjoying a 5-2 lead at the end of the 4th inning. However, the Pirates held composure, and thanks to excellence of the pitching, said veteran Neville Sheepsmith, and an all-round display in the batting department, the team managed 4 additional runs without conceding to win the game 6-5 in the final inning. Here's a look at that inning. Meanwhile, in the women's division, reigning champions Synergy continued their unbeaten run and ended Game 1 of their championships series defeating newcomers Sparks via Mercy Rule 13-4 last Friday. Now, they returned on Sunday to add a few more nails to the coffin of Sparks winning Game 2 by a 9-run margin 16-7. Sparks showed early fight in the game up until the end of the fourth inning, trailing 7-10, but Synergy turned up the heat, proving to much of the Sparks that they needed 6 additional runs without reply. Take a look at their amazing performance.
Jeffers winds, fires. This ball is hit to short. Gertrude, the ball ate her up. Darius score. The ball goes to second. Smith scores. She's batting fifth. The bunt, good bunt. The throw to first. The throw home, no throw at home, throw came late. So a good bunt there by Makita Foy is settling. The pitch, his ball is hit to second base. Error by the second base woman. The throw to second, she is safe. 1 ball, no strikes, the pitch. The ball gets away from the catcher.
3 of the 5-match series continues this evening at the E. Wallen Bruley Ballpark with power outage, and Sparks are faced with no other option but to win if they are to prevent a clean sweep from occurring in their respective series. The game between Sparks and Synergy will commence at 6:30 p.m. while power outage will face the Pirates at 8:45 p.m. Live coverage of both matches will be streamed on CCT Live, channel 284 Media, and 284 Media's Facebook page. Viewers, that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for your daily news updates at 284media.com, and of course like us on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram and Twitter. I'm Ron Grant. Thank you so much for joining us. Do have an enjoyable weekend. Happy Friday. Goodbye.